Good morning, budding fashion designers and entrepreneurs. I am extremely glad to see the enthusiasm shining on your faces. You can now smell the sweet aroma of success after just a couple of training sessions, and it shows. Let's start today's session with a quick quote. This is what the icon Steve Jobs said at one of his ritual promotional unveilings. Apple's market share is bigger than BMWs or Mercedes or Porsches in the automotive market. What's wrong with being BMW or Mercedes? This line is innocent enough, but on close examination provides a glint of the determination that created Apple. Steve Jobs was declaring to the world that his company reigns supreme in the market, and he has no wish whatsoever to give up that claim. It should give you some idea about the importance of market share while setting up a business, as well as determining which enterprise sinks and which swims. A wake up alert. 15% of all businesses fail because of the lack of proper market research. That is not an insignificant percentage. If you can eliminate this problem, you can count yourself out of a large number of unfortunate endeavors which never taste success or profits. What is market share? We at Design and Me have one policy: no dry technical jargon. Wikipedia describes market share as the percentage of a market defined in terms of either units or revenue accounted by a specific entity. But I ask you, does that have any impact on you sitting on the other side? Does that statement make you appreciate what this simple little term market share may do to the potential profitability of your business? The answer must be no. So we have put together a number of ways in which young entrepreneurs love to define market share. Mr. Kapil Rajgir, who owns a flourishing apparel business in Pune, defines market share as the doctor and astrologer of a company. Market share analysis can throw up the entire health of the venture and predict the curve the business will take over the coming months. Sonal Sharma, who owns a boutique in Kolkata that has created quite a stir amongst the elite housewives of the rich and the wealthy, says, market share is the lifeline of profits. The day it starts to decrease, your business dies. And Nishant Thapa, the owner of the popular line of ethnic silver jewelry, smiles and describes market share as his peace of mind, his silver lining. According to him, no matter what the obstacles and unpleasantness at work, he can rest easy if he finds that his market share is on the rise. Each and every individual stated in this section is young and is a success. They are not analysts who have read dozens of books on the subject. They have lived and thought business for years, and they know the importance of the term, not theoretically but practically, and that is the basis of real learning. What does market share signify? Let us go back in the time to the 1960s. That was when the path-breaking research was conducted, which modern market managers swear by. The PIMS, that's Profit Impact of Market Strategy analysis, was developed at General Electric in the 1960s and is now maintained by the Strategic Planning Institute. What emerged from this analysis was the direct relationship between market share and the extra benefits a business enjoys. It also explained the probable adverse impact of not conducting a proper market research before jumping to establish a solo venture and the returns one can expect from an investment. Let us consider the case study of Dixons, the dominant electric retailer in the UK. Dixons had a market share that was considerably more than any of its competitors, and it was found that this company aced the others in a number of apparently isolated factors as well. They were: number one, buying advantage. Dixons had a large market share, and as a result sales were high. So it could afford to source bulk quantities at wholesale prices and thus a lot more cheaply than its competitors. This in turn produces more free cash to invest in the strengthening of the infrastructure and the workforce. 2. Access to new products. As the fourth D2 in the market, Dixons had an unrestricted access to a large number of new products which the other companies not sharing their resources or reputation could not access. Next, advertising scale. Dixons could avail of a large number of pan-nation advertisement opportunities. This further cemented their market position. And the last one is access to retail property. Because of their huge market share, Dixons could lay claim to the prime real estate properties for their retail stores before any of their competitors could. All across the performance board, Dixons stayed in front of others because of their market share. So we can state conclusively that good performance or high quality that leads to a good market share can in turn lead to better chances of success. Let's have a quick glance at the cycle of growth and positivity termed as the golden cycle. Initial great quality and performance, greater market share leading to more opportunities. This hopefully proves clearly that market share is the key to your success. Now let us look through the probable problems that young entrepreneurs may face if they do not take into account the all important market share. You might have a business and no one to sell to. Won't that be a bad thing? If you are planning to sell fluorescent bed sheets, it is highly advised that you first find out the market share of the product you are planning to manufacture or the service you are planning to provide. On that note, let us take the case study of Miss Ruti Sharma. She started a niche business of tick collars in her area. Tick collars are the belt which are tied around the neck of a pet dog. Her dog benefited from the product and she felt she could share that with other dog lovers. But she lives in a small town of Baroda where the concept of a pet is a child of the family isn't prevalent yet. I bought a few dozen collars and started to post flyers on notice boards of the buildings in my community. I couldn't even imagine that someone wouldn't be interested in such a unique product. But I was quite shocked to hear that most people thought it was a waste of money and they didn't have the wherewithal necessary to buy a fancy collar. I sold only 2. I regret not finding out the scope of the collars before buying the lot. I lost quite a bit of money. This is a small example. Now multiply that initial investment by 10 and not doing adequate market research is a disaster waiting to happen. You may latch onto a hot or in-demand product and by the time you set it up, the supply may exceed the market share or demand. Vinita Nair found this out the tough way. Let's hear her experience. I was obsessed with nail art. I used to do it when nobody had heard of such a thing. I was in college at that time and I was determined to open my own nail spa as soon as I graduated. Staying in Connaught Place, Delhi, I was assured of the fact that some sophisticated women would love what I brought to their glamour quotient. But setting up a business is not easy. By the time I could get funded and assemble my team, more than 4 nail spas had cropped up in and around my locality. I couldn't very well abort the venture and so I struggled to brave the competition. I didn't have the financial pull to invest more and expand my operations, and so after 2 years of just breaking even, I sold my business to a competitor. If only Vinita had done some long-term projections, she could have seen the boom in nail spas coming. Let us wrap this section with a pledge. You will invest money in a professional analyst and statistician who can come up with a chart of not only the market share of the business but also possible profit in the coming years. A good point to be noted, fashion and related accessories take up about 18% of the consumer market of India. I repeat, fashion and related accessories take up about 18% of the consumer market of India. That is awesome. Go ahead and start your planning. The market is there. You need to fine tune your data to zero in on your share. Companies are divided into 4 main categories depending upon years in the market. We generally assume that years in the market is directly proportional to market share, but it is hardly ever true. The relationship between market share and years spent consolidating the position in the market is hardly linear. When a company starts out, it is a question mark. When a company starts out, it is a question mark. The profits are low and the reputation is questionable. As it spends more time in the market and ideally follows the latest marketing and business techniques, the likes of which are described in great detail in these videos, the profit gradually increases with the market share. The business is then hailed as a rising star. The enterprise Macromax is an ideal example of a rising star. Once a company has reached its full potential, it becomes a cash cow. Cash cow. The market share is optimized and profits are plentiful. But there is hardly any expansion or development going on. We might say that the company is more or less stagnant at this point. The thing to do is stay hungry and stay focused. Contentment may kill the venture. Lastly, there is the dog. Those companies which are long past their heydays. They have a rapidly decreasing market share and it is too late to stop the fund crisis. The venture is doomed. This is the matrix that may help young entrepreneurs see the bigger picture and gaze long-sightedly into the future. What customers want and what they are buying. Ratan Tata had said, if given a time machine, I will go into the future and see what the consumers are buying. If the giant thinks what the consumers are buying is important, rest assured it is. The International Business Association, Oslo, Norway, carried out a test of 40 voluntary candidates. They were let loose in the Oslo Megamart with a cash card that had $500 on it. The volunteers were encouraged to buy whatever took their fancy. The only thing was they had to tick each item they bought out of 5 for 5 different criteria. They were price, aesthetic appeal, presence, utility and desire. Price, aesthetic appeal, presence, utility and desire. We have procured that chart and the results might astound you. Hold on. Yes, what you are seeing is true. The 40 volunteers taken from different walks of life consistently bought only those items which were most abundantly present and which had aesthetic appeal. Apparently price and utility lost the war to these 3 appealing qualities. Now you know what customers are buying. They are buying goods they desire. And desire can be stimulated as well as simulated by the proper marketing strategies. As for presence, we come down to our old friend, the market share. The more supermarkets, malls and retail stores you can sweet talk into stocking your product, the more will people notice them and higher are the chances of sales. The tricks to influence established names to take up your product will be discussed in greater detail in our section on cold calling and the bet book that goes with it. Finally, the aspect of aesthetic appeal is something you as a designer should be able to guarantee. Discovering customer needs. This is a special section where we will discuss the way to discover customer needs. This is for those entrepreneurs who want to niche out a market for themselves. When you enter an established market, you already know the ins and outs and the expectations of the crowd. You can learn from the case study of other businesses and you already have a wealth of material to go on. But if you're actually thinking of doing something path breaking, We are given the tools to get you funded in our section, the money. It is best to resort to these tried and tested methods. 1. You can carry out surveys. This is the best and the easiest way to find the needs of the clients in your area. You can employ representatives to conduct physical surveys going from door to door. You can also conduct surveys on sites like Facebook to build an idea of about what people are looking for. 2. You can distribute free samples. These are a great way to beta test the product and also generate public interest. Not to mention that fact that you can get first-hand feedback, which is invaluable. Next, you can go for listings on eBay and Amazon. A coming soon landing page can also work wonders for you. Get your product listed on a large portal even before you actually start manufacturing. The traffic your landing page receives is a great way to judge whether people are interested in what you have to offer. Last one is to research for a similar market. If you do know of some business next to yours or the product you have in mind, you may complement a product already present in the market. You can also get a fairly good idea of how your endeavor will be received by the public. This is what Mr. Ashok Sinha did. He wanted to start a laptop skins business. The ingenious way he got his potential was by researching the number of people who bought laptop cleaning kits. His simple logic was the people who kept their laptops spotless would also want to be trendy and keep them in style. As it was, Mr. Sinha was right. To wrap up this entire module, I would like to say just one thing. Be aware. Awareness is extremely important to succeed. With our coming modules, we will take this awareness of yours to a high level as we gradually make you realize the pitfalls and give you the push to jump over the crater, avoiding them. As the famous quote goes, the first step toward change is awareness. The second step is acceptance. We have taken the first step. Now it is up to you to implement the awareness in your life and use it to mold and influence all your practices. That can lead to change, and change is the bridge to success. Now time for some call for action. 1. Come up with a unique product and conduct a survey in your area to gauge the need of the product. And second, do you think that aesthetic appeal and desire are truly two main factors influencing customers? Write a 600-word paragraph either supporting or refuting the statement. Now these are your assignments and I expect you to complete the same. That's all for the day. I am now looking forward to connect with you in my next video. Till then, let's work together and achieve peace of mind, financial freedom, and a career for life. Thank you.